If you're like me, then you might have travel on your mind this time of year. Of course, when it comes time to not just pack your bag, but pack your wallet, you might have a question like, well, what card should I bring? Specifically, we're talking about Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express. So today, I'm going to share with you which credit card is going to be best to bring with you, especially if you're traveling internationally. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss this. So you heard right, traveling internationally can be a life-changing experience. But sometimes you forget to maybe pack your wallet a little bit differently than normal, and you find yourself hit with foreign transaction fees, maybe currency exchange fees that you weren't expecting, and just basically life happening and not having the insurance or travel protection that you could have if you pack the right credit card. So before I tell you exactly what's best, Visa or MasterCard, please don't forget to drop a like for this video. And I just opened back up access to our private Discord server. Feel free to check that out. So a long time ago, way back when Little Rich was taking his first international trip, my dad said, listen, in case there's an emergency, I made you an authorized user on this one card. Don't use it unless it's an emergency. But he put it in my bag and said, just in case something happens, take this with you. And I never forgot that. It was kind of one of my first exposures to credit cards and their perks and rewards. And it turned out back then, that was a MasterCard because the reputation that MasterCard has is that it's best for international travel. Now, specifically, we're talking about MasterCard having this reputation to be more accepted in more countries, maybe have better conversion rates on your American currency to wherever you're traveling to, and all those protections that you would need in case something happened, like trip delay insurance, or you bought something, you bring it back home, and it's a dud. However, from where I'm sitting, most of my favorite travel credit cards, and stick around to the end because I will share with you my top 3, they all have Visa attached to it. So I kind of found it very interesting how MasterCard has this international reputation, but my favorite travel credit cards have the Visa logo. So let's start the comparison with how you plan to use the card while traveling. See, typically a guy like me might book a trip right now that's a week or maybe 10 days long, and it's somewhat of an all-inclusive experience. Maybe it's a cruise, a resort, a vacation we have planned, and really the only things we're spending money on once we get there are going to be things like excursions or dinner, maybe a couple of souvenirs. However, some people take those honeymoon type trips, those anniversary type trips, where you plan to do some shopping to bring home some of the goods and some of the culture of where you visit. So let's dive a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole here. What you must understand is that banks usually are the issuers of these cards. So for example, one of my favorite banks right now is Chase. I do my business checking with them, have lots of different types of credit cards, personal and business. So for example, Chase can issue both a Visa and a MasterCard. So just keep in mind that the issuing bank, like Chase for example, Bank of America, they can have their own policies in addition to the policies that are from MasterCard or from Visa. So let's cut right to the chase. If you plan on doing quite a bit of purchases while traveling internationally on things that were like items that if they go bad, you're gonna try to actually return them, it looks like MasterCard actually wins out with their satisfaction guarantee of up to $250 per purchase for up to 60 days. Now, Visa does have a brand of Visa cards, the Infinite and the Signature cards, that both offer a similar sort of return policy. However, all the other types of Visa cards that you might find yourself having in your wallet kind of leave it up to the issuer, like I mentioned before, the bank. So it might be a better idea to take that MasterCard if you're going to be buying lots of different, items that are right around $100 or $200. Now, moving on, I know many of us are probably thinking about, well, what about foreign transaction fees? I've been guilty myself. However, not all cards have 0 foreign transaction fees. In fact, it's more common than not to pay something right around a 3% foreign transaction fee. Therefore, it doesn't matter MasterCard, Visa, whatever you have in your wallet, if you're swiping that card to make a purchase, not only is it going to charge you for the purchase, it's also going to charge you up to sometimes 3+% for a foreign transaction fee. Therefore, it's a really good idea to be a little choosy, a little picky with what card you're actually going to bring on international travel, because there's no reason to get hit with currency fees or foreign transaction fees simply because you decided to bring one card over another, especially if you weren't really thinking about the how and why behind using that card. And one more thing real quick, I mentioned that currency conversion fee. You know, sometimes when you're swiping that card and you're in a different country, you know, outside of the US or Canada, typically you can usually expect a card like MasterCard not to have currency conversion fees. And a lot of times many of the Visa products do. So again, keep that in mind, but it's a very good idea to look at the specific card you're using. So let's move on to my 3 favorite cards to use for travel. My first favorite card right now is going to be the Capital One Venture X card. It has 0 foreign transaction fees, and actually it is a Visa Infinite card. So you can expect a lot of the travel and purchase protection that we talked about later. Not always typical with a Visa card, but you can definitely get it with this card. One thing to keep in mind though is that there is a $395 annual fee for this travel type of card. But as of this recording, there is a sign-up bonus that is right around 75,000 miles. So that's going to get you a lot of bang for your buck if you're going through the Capital One travel portal. Even if you decide to, I wouldn't recommend this though, but to cash them out, those miles and points are going to be worth quite a bit. Now, my second favorite travel card right now is the OG for me. It's going to be the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I've had it for going on just about 4 years. Since I've had it, it has been my go-to travel card simply because it has travel protections. We're talking trip interruption, trip delay, baggage coverage, you name it. And funny enough, it is actually a Visa Infinite card. But I do want to point out right now it has a $550 annual fee. However, there's always different sign-up offers kind of popping around. At the time of this recording, it's as high as 60,000 points. So if you're interested in this card or any of the ones I'm going to talk about, again, I'll leave a link down below in the description to learn more. And my third favorite card right now for travel, specifically international travel, might surprise you because it is neither a Visa nor a MasterCard. And before I tell you what it is, real quick, I tried hard to find, a MasterCard that I would confidently take with me over these 3, and I really couldn't find one. The Chase Freedom Flex, for example, is a MasterCard, but I probably wouldn't use that even though it has no annual fee. And again, I'll leave a link down below in the description to that, simply because I don't feel like it's going to give me the travel protections and kind of the bang for my buck in terms of points and miles as this third card. And many of you probably know what I'm about to say. It is the Platinum card by American Express. Now, we didn't talk about American Express in this video because it kind of was a Visa versus MasterCard video. But if you know that you have the Platinum card in your wallet and it is accepted while traveling, then I would use this one just as much as I would use the Capital One Venture X or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. However, I do not have the Platinum card yet, specifically because I'm waiting to do some big travel, knowing that I'm going to maybe stay at a hotel that accepts it. I'm going to be hitting up some airport lounges, some Centurion lounges that I know are going to be along my way. And the reason I am waiting is you only get the welcome offer once in a lifetime. Now, right now, that's over 100,000 membership reward points through American Express, and those offers vary. But there is, and this is going to be a deal breaker for some people, a $695 annual fee. So again, I'll leave links down below in the description for all 3 of those cards, but let's do a couple of key takeaways. If you find yourself traveling internationally, then you're going to want to have a credit card in your wallet that is going to help protect you against the things that were unexpected. Of course, you have a plan, but when those plans don't work out as planned, it's going to be very helpful for you to be able to hop on with your credit card company and say, my flight got delayed, they lost my bags, our hotel is fully booked, can you help us? Likewise, if you're making purchases internationally and all of a sudden you realize that, hey, this isn't what I thought I bought. You have some, purchase protections wrapped into these different cards. Now, it's always a good idea to bring your credit card, use it as much as possible. I would avoid using a debit card unless you have to kind of take cash out for an ATM. But if you are going to use ATMs, try to find ones that don't have additional fees. And of course, it's always a good idea, just a couple of common sense tips, to call your credit card companies and call your banks whenever you're doing international travel and you plan to use those cards. All right, so when it comes down to a winner for me, I am going to be tempted to bring a MasterCard, but I know that with the 3 other cards that I have named that have annual fees that are Visa Infinite cards, I'm going to feel a bit more confident, kind of sleep better at night while traveling if I bring one of those 3. So despite what the reputation MasterCard has, I'm still going to go with Visa. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.